Hey everybody, Tyler from Seller Labs here to talk to you really quick about the benefit of the doubt on Amazon advertising and what that means for recreating your campaigns. Now, if you've had any conversations with me or Jeff or anyone else from the Seller Labs team about advertising, you've probably heard us mention the benefit of the doubt when it comes to recreating your campaigns. But I know that's a super scary thing to think about, to throw away all the data that you have, throw away in quotes, all the data that you have from a previous campaign, to say, I'm just going to start new and start getting these placements. But let's talk about how Amazon advertising works, and then we can talk about when you need to look and decide if you want to recreate your campaigns and how to appropriately do that. So this is a really quick video, and we're just going to touch on that. So what you need to keep in mind with Amazon advertising is most campaigns are going to look pretty similar to a bell curve. So campaigns are going to start out low, and as you continue to get more and more traction, you're moving up, right? Profitability is moving up. You're starting to see more match types, get more spots, more placements. Then as we're making changes, we're incrementally making bid changes based on what we're seeing. We're adding negative keywords. What we're doing is we're limiting the number of placements. So eventually we hit a diminishing return where we've peaked out at the bell curve, and now we're going back down the other side because we've either trimmed a lot of the fat and there's not a lot of terms for us to go after, or Amazon sees performance metrics are slowing down, or it's just because we've trimmed out too much or not enough of the extra keywords. So if you don't trim enough negative keywords, you're going to have a low click-through rate and conversion rate, and all of those things go back into Amazon's decisions on if you get placements. But if we cut too many, we're starting to affect the amount of placements that we get when there's not going to be enough people searching for the keywords that are left. And so we're continuing to go down that side of the bell curve. So in either of those kind of situations, you want to maybe start to assess whether you can right the ship or you can need to create a new campaign to get that benefit of the doubt, taking the info that you have and assessing what's good and what's bad to recreate it. Creating a new campaign shouldn't always be the first thing that we look to do. We need to read through all the data and see if there's a less invasive change that we can make to help write your account. So let's take a look at this account in Ignite and talk about whether or not we should recreate the campaign to get that benefit of the doubt. So in December, we had a big month, right? Things track pretty naturally growing into December. And of course, December is going to be a big month for most everyone. But I want to talk about what comes after in Q1 so we can talk about if something happened that we need to look further into and then ultimately decide if we want to recreate this campaign or not. So in December, we went from $13,000 in sales, $2,000 in cost, and a 14% ACoS to, in January, a $7,000 in sales, almost $8,000 in sales, $1,200 in cost, and a 16% ACoS. So our ACoS went up, our sales cut down significantly, and our cost went down by about 50%. So that's not necessarily unnormal from a December to January. That's something you have to know on your own account level. But then February gets even more interesting. So in February, we go from the January numbers of 16%, $1,200 in cost, $8,000 in sales to 10% cost, ACoS, $500 in cost, and $6,000 in sales. So our ACoS went down, our amount spent went down, and our sales went down as well. So that tells me that maybe there is a chance that we cut too many keywords. We're limiting our placements a little bit too much. You can see that we righted the ship a little bit going into March, but it's still a chance that we might want to look into this further. So what are the things we need to look at in terms of to decide if we want to recreate a campaign or not? Those are the things we just talked about. They're the ACoS. If we see it going up and sales going down, it might be an indicator of something wrong. Additionally, if ACoS is going down, sales are going down, placements are going down, you might want to look at that too, without you deciding that you wanted to do that intentionally. You also want to look at click-through rate. So if we're driving a lot of traffic and people are clicking on it but not converting, that's going to affect it as well. And we need to look at the data for your entire account and understand if it's something you should do. Again, it's on a prescribed basis. We also want to look at these things over time. So 1 month, 1 week, whatever, that's not going to be enough. We want to look at it over time. This is something that we probably want to do at most once a quarter, because this is something that we want to prescribe on an as-need basis. We don't want to just be recreating your campaigns every single week. So those are the very basics of recreating your campaigns and the benefits of it. If you have any questions, comment below. If you need help from someone like our team, we're happy to help you in any way we can. Just go to sellerlabs.com. Thanks again.